Hello everyone, I'm your trainer Ria, and in today's lesson we will learn about the word enough. Now firstly, we must remember what the definition is of enough. Enough simply means that there is a necessary degree of strength or sufficient strength. Let me write that down for you. Necessary degree of strength. Now I will explain this to you using an example. For example, I'm making myself a lovely cup of tea and I require 2 teaspoons of sugar in my cup. Now when I look into the sugar pot, I find that there's almost 2 teaspoons. Now I find that that is enough for me. Right? So to make a lovely cup of tea, I will pour out all the sugar into my cup, mix it up and drink it, right? So that much sugar was enough for me. If it was only 1 teaspoon of sugar, I wouldn't have liked my tea enough, right? So to have something as enough would mean that it is sufficient enough for you, or there is a necessary degree of strength. Let's look at enough with different parts of speech. Firstly, let's look at adjectives. The first thing that you need to remember is the adjective will come before enough in a sentence. Let's look at a sentence right now. I'm old enough to vote. Explaining this is in an example. I've got a cousin who has just turned 18 and she is very eager to vote, or maybe she's very eager to obtain a driving license. Now, if she was 17 years of age, she would not have been able to vote, or she would not have been able to obtain a driving license. Since she has just turned 18, she's at the right age, the legal age to obtain a license or to vote. So that is how we'll use enough in this sentence. You'll use the adjective first, I'm old, and then you'll add the word enough to vote. Okay, explaining enough in a second sentence with an adjective. She is smart enough to decide for herself. Seeing a situation where a girl is going through a lot of problems in a relationship, and maybe she has enough intellect to decide for herself. She knows what is better for herself, and she does not need anybody's advice or anybody's help. So she is smart enough to decide what she's about to do or what she should decide on that relationship. So in this sentence, as usual, you'll put the adjective before enough. Okay, she is smart enough to decide for herself. She has sufficient intellect to decide about the matter. Now looking at different part of speech, which is adverb. Please remember that an adverb is used to modify a verb. So in this sentence, again, you'll have to remember that adverb will come before the word enough. She is running quickly enough to reach on time. Now, running is the verb, okay? To modify running, we have the word quickly, and then after that, we'll have the word enough. Now, somebody has to reach somewhere on time. Maybe she's running after the bus to catch the bus quickly enough, okay, so that she can reach her destination on time. Now, if she's running at a slower pace, would she be able to reach the bus, or probably hang on to the bus or catch the train? No, she has to run quickly enough or rapidly enough so that she could actually catch the bus, and that will take her to her destination. So I'll explain this part of the sentence. Running is the verb, okay, and quickly, okay, that modifies the verb, which is the adverb, and she was running quickly enough. It means with sufficient speed. Okay, looking at the word enough in another sentence, the stock market is rising steadily enough after the crash. Now, presumably there was a market crash, okay, and after that usually there is not enough speed in how the market actually climbs. But in this sentence we are seeing that the stock market actually is rising very, very steadily. Okay, there is so much hope with the stock market. Well, the stock market is rising being the verb, steadily. Okay, it is rising steadily at the same speed, so that is an adverb. Okay, this describes how it is rising, and enough means with enough or sufficient speed. Okay, now let's look at another part of the speech, which is a noun. Okay, noun is a naming word. So enough plus a noun. Now please remember, with the other two parts of speech, the adjective and the adverb came before enough, but in this one, enough will come before the noun. So let's look at the first sentence. Are there enough students to make a batch? Now, in this sentence, enough comes before students. Let me also highlight that students are countable nouns. Okay, countable nouns being, for example, you can count them: 1 student, 2 students, 3 students, 5, 7, 9. Okay, so this is a countable noun. Now let's look at an example. Consider that an institute is making a batch, and there are about 15 students. Is that enough to make a batch? It definitely is not. Okay, so here a negative point comes, that it is, are there enough students to make a batch? So with that, the answer would be, there are not enough students to make a batch. In case that there are about 20 students, then we're definitely making a batch. The students are enough to make a batch. So are there enough students to make a batch? Now we have got 20. Yes, there is, or there are enough, sorry about that, there are enough students to make a batch. Another thing that you need to remember is students is plural. Okay, it is a countable noun, it is plural. So with a plural noun, the helping verb will also be plural. Looking at a second sentence where it is different, there isn't enough pasta left for everyone. Pasta being an uncountable noun. Can you count pasta? So that is an uncountable noun, and students being a countable noun. Let me just write that out for you. Now in this sentence, there isn't enough pasta for everyone. Pasta being uncountable, so we're using enough before pasta, and the helping verb that we're using in this sentence would be singular. This is always the case when you're using a helping verb with uncountable noun. Okay, it is always going to be singular. On the other hand, if you're using a countable noun, the helping verb is going to be plural. So there isn't enough pasta left for everyone. I was making pasta the other day, and it was very, very yummy, very, very delicious. So I made, well, quite enough for everyone, and everybody started eating it, and there wasn't enough left, was there? So there was not enough left for the other batch of visitors who came. So I would always say that there isn't enough pasta for everyone. Maybe I should make some more of my lovely pasta. So this is a negative sentence. There isn't enough pasta left for everyone. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed today's lessons. Just to recap, okay, adjective, the enough will come after adjective, same as with adverb, but with nouns, enough will come before the noun. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson, and I will come back with another exciting lesson. Till then, please take care.